Satan, all he can do is plant a thought. All he'll do is drop a thought, and you have to play with. That's why you have to make every thought obedient to Christ, right? So it's like when he plants it, it's like, okay, what are you gonna do with that? Are you gonna make it to Christ or whatever? So it goes back to that like constant everyday battle, because it's like, how am I gonna overcome this sin if I'm struggling with so much? No, just focus on it. When it comes, take care of it, and just take care of the next thing. Just the next thing. Just focus on the next play, the next step, the next whatever it might be. And with this, right, I'm pretty sure that word test, or I think temptation, I'm pretty sure in Greek it means test, and that shows like God will test us. He's like, are you going to be obedient to, like, he'll allow this whatever temptation, this thought to come, like, how are you going to deal with it? How are you going to whatever? And I've seen that in my own life, whether it's a spiritual high, whether it's whatever, and it's like I get this thought. It's like, okay, do I have to make it obedient to Christ, or am I going to play with it? Am I going to allow my own desire to entice me, whatever it might be, and get deeper with that? So it's like that temptation. God doesn't tempt us, but he'll test us, and we see that all throughout all of our lives. And no, like, there's no exception to saying, throwing this this thought, whatever it might be, and allowing it to happen. Like, how do we go about it? Are we gonna, it's like it's really a test. Like, how do you go about this situation that Satan definitely meant for evil? So it's like kind of proving God right and Satan wrong. Right.
Job was tested, man.
Job tested.
Everybody in the Bible went through a test, but the real ones understand, like, man, I'm sticking through God. I don't care what happens. I don't care what comes my way. I know God is gonna work it out, man.
Yeah, and they're trailblazers for us too. Job, the amount of story, I can't imagine the thousands and thousands of people who heard the story of Job and were inspired by it from their own lives, or any other story in the Bible. Like,
Job didn't know that in the moment. He didn't know what that would do to.
He didn't know the testimony. Exactly. People, like, he didn't know he'd be getting talked about right now on a podcast, in 2023. Literally, like, there's little things like that. But it's just like, that's the importance of testimony too. Just understanding that your story, whatever it is that you're going through right now, it's like, of course, it's to build you up or build your character, but God works twofold. He'll do this for someone else. This story, when you share it to this person or to this work group, to this team, whatever it might be, it's meant to inspire just one heart. Just touch somebody else with it, because it's always bigger than yourself. That story, that thing that you're going through, it's meant to inspire, to touch someone else's heart, to even give them type of inspiration for their own situations that they go through. And like, they're able to come to you with questions, and then that just builds their own faith. And it's just something that I could never understand the meaning, or I can never understand how God strategizes it, but he does. And I've seen that in my own life with other people's testimonies that have affected me, and how I'm not who I am without those testimonies, or without those preachers who said this thing. And just understanding that you never know who's listening. You never know who's really being touched by you, even if it's as something as simple as your actions, being able to be so gentle or like loving towards somebody, and that sparks a curiosity in the other person. Like, why is he so nice all the time? Why that person did that to them, and he did this to them? He didn't even get his revenge. He didn't. It's like little things like that spark that curiosity, that want the other person to get them to go deeper and want to find out more behind it, because they have like that person has something in them that you want, and you're like, okay, I'm just a little curious, and then it starts to get closer and closer, and then you find yourself wanting those things, and now you want to take those steps too. And then that's just how God works, and he works so many other ways, but I've seen that so evident in my life, and how like other people, or how I've wanted to do that with other people, how I wanted to be like this person because they exemplified this aspect or this trait that I know Christ has, and I'm like, I need to go talk to them. I need to know, how do they do this? How do they keep this? How do they sustain themselves or do this and keep that up? But yeah, that's another huge
That's the importance too of like being a light too. And, we're about to come to a close soon, but the importance of being a light, man, is because people are watching you. Like, whether we think it or not, like, they look at us and see how we move as Christians. Okay, why is there, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. We'll walk places and people will just be able to see the spirit that we carry. Like, would just be, the glory would be so strong, and be like, okay, I don't know who that person is, but there's something different about him. Boom, Christ. We talk about it, and then that's how the gospel starts being preached. We preach the gospel through that.
Just like a light in someone's eyes.
Light, bro. The light, you can see, you can literally see the glory in somebody's eyes and see it, bro. Like, that's the thing about it. I wanna be able to meet somebody. Part of being a Christian is, I want to talk to somebody, or somebody to talk to me, and I want them to know and say, okay, this person is a Christian. And I didn't even say nothing about it, but they can just know and see by the fruit. The Bible says that you will know them by a fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit.
Exactly.
Same thing, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So it's about how are you carrying yourself? Like, what are we doing? Are we just out here saying we're doing this stuff about God, you know, but when the cameras go away or when this goes away, we're living our life a whole different story. You know, that's obviously a whole nother topic that we'll get into, but it's just real. It's about how we carry ourselves through Christ.
Even when no one's watching. Even when you don't think anyone is watching, because someone is usually watching or picking up on those little things. So just keeping that. Or if anything, God is always watching. He's the one who tests your character, your heart through all of this. But